Alrighty, folks, good day. It is Sunday, December 30th. We are finally done with this snowstorm. It's pulling out. It is really done affecting us all together. It's a very solid forecast by Stormtopia.com. We're going to go over the verification right now, and the next storm threat is going to be January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. This is how much snow we ended up with. Pretty much one of the best forecasts I've had in a few years. Also one of the biggest storms I've had in a few years, at least at my house. 3 to 6 inches where I expected it to. Mostly 5 or 6, a couple 3 or 4 inch reports. 6 to 8 inches in most of southern New England. 8 to 10 actually in the interior. Locally 11 to 13 inches. Clinton, Connecticut, spots like Manchester, Milford, Massachusetts, all of those saw around a foot of snow, and that's because of the intense banding that we saw going on throughout the early to late evening. Overall, pretty impressive snow system. So, let's take a look at the next threat. I'm never satisfied with having a boring weather pattern. This is the European Ensemble guidance for, when is this? Let's see. January, this is next Wednesday, so this is January 3rd. Let's take a look at a couple key features here. Number one is it is cold. The northern branch is making its way. That's just too clean. I need a better drawing than that. But anyway, the northern branch is starting to finally dip down into the northeast. Keep in mind, though, we have a positive NAO right now, and it looks to stay positive, but we still just got this northern branch cold air that's coming on in here. And this is some really cool. We're talking single digits in a lot of New England. And that cold air, although it's not as intense farther south, is still reaching into Virginia and North Carolina, where it is about in the 20s. Let's change the color again. I'm never satisfied. But why would I be worried about this? Because typically you look at this and you say, all right, well, we can't really get an East Coast storm because this is going to block it. We can't really get anything clippers because those are going to go down here and have trouble coming on through. We need what's called a southern stringer. So what we're essentially waiting for here is energy from a little disturbance up in here that comes its way around, hits the blocking Caribbean and high and Bermuda high, so it has to go around that. It can't go up into New England, so it has to go around this. It's really a perfect scenario for Virginia and North Carolina. Remember February 19th through 20th, 2012, we had a rather large storm um, coming back on and through. It dumped about 3 to 5 inches in the Richmond area, actually closer to 10 inches in the western part of the state. This ended up being this whole area that got some snow. And I think if we are able to get some energy coming on in through here, that would likely be what happens. And GFS model yesterday was showing it, but what happened is it got crushed by the northern branch. The European model was showing it, then it got crushed by the northern branch. But I don't think it's going to get crushed by the northern branch. I think it's just going to end up going around this trough down in through here. Now, let me tell you why I'm really worried. Notice where these contours are. Notice how they're really close together in the Appalachians. That's indicative of cold air damming, which is typically what tends to cause major ice storms in the western part of North Carolina and Virginia. I'm very worried about this, mainly because it's showing significantly colder air. See, at this point, Asheville towards Charlotte, North Carolina, it's probably above freezing, but it's in the 20s in the western part of the state. We've got overrunning precipitation coming above it, but we've still got cold air at least in the mid-levels, so that would be a perfect scenario for an ice storm back on and through the western portions of those areas. At least some snow in that scenario back in Virginia. Remember, it's in the 20s. So that's certainly something to watch. The threat will be January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's at the very least a favorable time for some snow and ice back in this whole area. I'm not saying there will be a storm, I'm just saying it's certainly something to watch out for as the pattern is very favorable. That's it for now. Have a good day.